What's the most bullshit fact you can make up that sounds true? Uganda has no escalators. Real fact, there are 2 escalators in the entire state of Wyoming. Nice try BuzzFeed. This is the most plausible fact here. Due to selective breeding, modern horses actually put out 1.2 horsepower instead of the calculated 1 HP from back in the day. This is a stolen joke from the Painkiller Already podcast. One horse actually produces 14.9 horsepower. It will produce 19.47 horsepower if you give it coffee, and 19.39 horsepower if you give it Polish land. The term bouquet as in a flower bouquet came from Jacques Bouquet, who was an aspiring landscaper for nobles in the 15th century. However, he found no work and instead resorted to arranging handheld bunches of flowers for sale on the street. CVS stands for chocolate vanilla strawberry as they originally opened as an ice cream shop. This kind of intuitively makes sense to me because drugstores used to be where you would buy sodas and ice cream. Wait, did you make this up? Reading this thread, nothing feels safe lol. People used to hire a specific servant to ensure that all the clocks in their house were kept wound with correct times. This is the origin of the phrase night watchman. I wish this were true. I like it. The one I always get people with is that they're called cops or coppers because their badges used to be made out of copper. I have genuinely believed this for quite a while now. The way to tell if a nut is a real nut or not is if nut is a separate word, for instance peanuts and coconuts and nuts, but macadamia nuts are. Edit. Further research has shown I'm a dumbass and pistachios are in fact seeds. So new e.g. So theoretically, these nuts are in fact nuts. These nuts are actually berries, like tomatoes and bananas, and unlike strawberries, hence the saying, twigs and berries. Rocks can float in magma the same way that ice floats in water. Fuck, this one fits so well. It just hovers on the border of yeah. That makes sense. Colder stuff rises. Our 14th president, Zachary Fillmore, needed to hire a spell check after misspelling hundreds of words of official documents. I love how you completely made up a reasonable sounding president name as well. N-word is from the French mute gaz meaning night man. What's up my night man? Bike is short for Bachil, 2019's most common baby boy name, ABCDE for girls. PETA is an organization for the protection/treatment of animals. Close, you almost had me there. It's very important in colder climates to completely deflate the tires of your vehicle and refill them with new air on the day of the first frost. The air in the tires from summer has a significantly higher percentage of moisture and runs the risk of freezing in the tire come winter, causing serious damage to the integrity of the tire. You should also change your blinker fluid every other oil change. Dogs can smell sexual preferences in humans. Cats can see what kind of race a person is. This is my favorite. Can't stop laughing. Perfect. A coconut is a mammal because it grows hair and produces milk. So much glitter is produced each year and released into the wind that it's theorized that every human on Earth has at least a single speck of glitter on their bodies at all times. Olives are just pickled grapes. You could convince me. The New American Dictionary christened Meese as the official plural for mouse to commemorate 75th US Attorney General Edwin Meese. A moose once bit my sister. If you were to compress the gas giant Jupiter down to the same density, it would actually be smaller than its own moon, Europa. Alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush. Sun Tzu was a famous general and strategist. He wanted to test his fighting skills, so he took 2 of every animal on Earth and put them in a giant boat. He then proceeded to beat the shit out of all of the animals. That's why whenever there's a large gathering of animals, it's called a zoo, unless it's a farm. A female buffalo is called a buffalo. The Olympic event of pole vaulting was originally invented by ancient Greek prisoners in order to escape over prison walls. These prisoners were praised for their cleverness and allowed to remain outside a prison. Dead outside the prison, but still outside. Hitler was very fond of specific type of French cheese made in Clermont-Ferrand, even going so far as to pay the cheesemaker 10,000 French francs in 1941 to move into a small cottage near Berghoff to make and deliver the cheese to him every week. The word no originally stood for negative operator. My old boss bitched at me for not wearing the right shade of khakis to work. They were brown. I told him khaki was Arabic for brown. Really? It is. Yup. You deserve to be in charge. Khaki is from a Persian word meaning dusty/earthy. Concept of algorithm was invented by the father of internet, Al Gore, who named it after himself. It's a known fact that lobsters fall in love and mate for life. You can actually see old lobster couples walking around their tank, you know, holding claws. Delaware is not actually a real state but a fictitious place created by the government to provide hometowns and backstories for people in witness protection. 2 out of every 5 people can't read the word homeowner without thinking home meow nair. Thanks, now I'm cursed. Halloween falls on Friday the 13th this year, which occurs only once every 13 centuries. Every family who births a child in Green Bay, Wisconsin is gifted a 1-pound block of cheese by the city, and restaurants inside the city impose a small cheese tax to pay for it. Did you know that the wipers on a car are set specifically to not mimic a metronome, due to the subconscious distraction of perfect rhythm? One time someone told me that Tim Heidecker and Eric Warehim were married. I took them seriously and went around telling my friends for 2 years. The average horse ejaculate has about as many calories as a Burger King Whopper. That's why I'm so fat. 33,000 people are killed each year by falling coconuts, and a contentious issue in the last Philippine election was over whether helmets should be mandatory when in the vicinity of coconut trees. A single piece of macaroni is called a macaronis. Thank you for the 2 golds. Pretty sure it's a macarono. It's definitely macaronis. It's actually a macarena. Limes are actually small, unripened lemons. According to a rumor I just started, after extensive research over a span of 2 decades, 98.7% of Ivy League scientists have come to the conclusion and agree that you're gay. Little known fact, sleeping too much will make you more tired. Your body thinks you have more time than you do, and works harder on growing. If you sleep over 8 hours, or under 8 hours, you will be tired. Cinco de Mayo is the Mexican celebration of the sinking of the USS Mayo during the Texas/Mexican War. The compact disc, or CD, was given its letter designation as the media technology to follow cassette tapes that had sides A and B. Naturally, electronic files, or EF, would replace those. Tom Cruise's real name isn't Tom Cruise. That name was given to him because, before he was globally famous, he starred in many cabaret shows on cruises across the world. The last time you take a breath you also fart because a sphere of Uranus dilates simultaneously. When you get struck by lightning, animals will never attack you unprovoked because your pheromones have been mutilated where the animals smell you as being dead. Everyone is born with the same color eyes and hair, but as soon as the baby is exposed to the world, the color changes as a reaction. The government is putting dihydrogen monoxide in our waters and it is poisoning us. FBI use telemarketers to help track your location. The longer time spent on the phone, the better they can pinpoint your location. Though if you actually buy the product the telemarketer is selling, the seller won't report your location to the FBI. Instead, you will get 1 month free of telemarketing calls. Everyone's anus has the same number of ridges and folds. They just vary in size. Everyone's anus pattern is as unique as a fingerprint. Goes through airport. Okay sir, please bend over and spread your cheeks. Dave, relax. Close your butt cheeks. You have a 1 in 13,000 chance of falling through a storm grate on the sidewalk. How many people live in this town? And how many do you think have walked on that storm grate? Are you sure you want to risk it all? The word fuck is an acronym for the phrase, for unlawful carnal knowledge. The average ant consumes more than 30 times its body weight in a month. Damn, their anuses must be incredibly loose. Yes, but that's for unrelated reasons. It's the varyingly sized ridges and folds. Running was invented by Thomas Running in 1632 when he tried to walk twice at the same time. Thanks to early British settlers in America, the original pronunciation of Texas was Texas. The construction workers of early 1970s Bronx developed a way to pass the time during their breaks by dancing to early hip hop songs. They coined their style breakdancing and called themselves breakdancers. Cats can't digest cottage cheese. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to Comment Awards and like the video.
PG.
On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, one lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted.